I lied in a meeting this morning.
What?
Not with words, with my whole body. Steady voice, shoulders back. I sounded so sure of myself.
But you weren't.
Not even close. And the whole time, this voice in my head kept saying, "You have no idea if this is going to work."
Wait, that's exactly how I felt the first time I spoke English out loud. In front of a real person.
Right? And here's the scary part. By the end of the meeting, I believed it.
That's not nothing. That's a real question.
Where's the line between faking it and actually becoming it?
That's what we're figuring out today. All right, quick hello before we dig in. I'm Peter.
And I'm Emily. This is Emily and Peter's English. And today, we're pulling apart one of the most repeated pieces of advice out there. It actually reminds me a lot of when I was learning English, if I'm honest.
Oh, 100%. I remember pretending I understood conversations way before I actually did. Just nodding, smiling, saying, yeah, totally.
Same. And somehow, that pretending is part of how you actually get fluent. You act like you belong in the conversation before you fully do.
Right, so today's episode is basically about that pattern. In life and in language learning.
So today we're diving into fake it till you make it, where it actually comes from, why it works psychologically, and where it can go wrong if you're not careful.
And we'll connect every part of it back to what it's like learning a language. Because, honestly, this idea explains so much of that journey. Let's get into it.
So let's start with the obvious question. Isn't fake it till you make it just a nice way of saying pretend to be someone you're not?
That's what I used to think. But actually, psychologists talk about this idea called self-perception theory. Basically, the idea that we don't just act based on how we feel, we also start to feel based on how we act. Self-perception theory. The psychological idea that our actions shape our beliefs about ourselves, not just the other way around.
So it's less lying to the world and more sending a signal to your own brain.
Exactly. If you stand up straighter, speak a little slower, and act like you know what you're doing, your brain kind of goes, "Oh, I guess we're confident now," and starts to catch up.
That's wild, because that's literally what happened to me in that meeting today.
Right. You weren't lying. You were rehearsing a version of yourself you were growing into.
I like that a lot better than faking it.
Same. I actually think acting it till you become it is a more honest way to say it.
Ooh, we should have used that as the title.
Too late now.
Okay, can I tell a slightly embarrassing story?
Please.
So, back when I was learning English, I went to this language exchange event and I was terrified, like physically nervous. But I decided, I'm going to walk in like someone who's already good at this.
The classic move.
And I did. I smiled, I made eye contact, I used the 3 phrases I actually knew really confidently. And people responded to that confidence, not to my grammar mistakes.
That's such a good example, actually, because that's the real lesson. People respond to your energy long before they judge your accuracy.
Right, but here's the important part. I wasn't pretending to know things I didn't. I was just pretending to feel calm about not knowing them yet.
That's the line, isn't it? There's a difference between faking confidence and faking competence.
Say more about that.
Well, if you go into a job interview and claim you have skills you genuinely don't have, that's going to fall apart fast, and it can actually damage your credibility. Credibility. How trustworthy or believable people see you as.
Right, once you lose credibility, it's really hard to earn it back.
Exactly. But if you go in and just act calm and capable while you're still building the actual skill, that's completely different. That's healthy confidence, not deception.
So the rule is basically fake the emotion, not the facts.
That's a great way to put it, yeah. Can I tell you something that took me way too long to realize?
Go for it.
For years, I thought I needed to feel ready before I spoke English out loud. Like I was waiting for some invisible finish line. Once I know enough grammar, then I'll speak confidently.
Oh, I know that trap so well.
But that finish line never comes. You have to speak like a confident person before you feel like one, or you'll wait forever.
That's so true. I remember a teacher once told me, your mouth needs to move before your brain feels ready. And honestly, that one sentence changed everything for me.
That's such a good way to put it. It's basically fake it till you make it, applied directly to speaking practice.
And I think that's exactly why so many learners get stuck. They're waiting for internal permission that's never going to arrive on its own.
Right. The permission comes from the action, not before it.
Okay, so how do people actually do this in a way that doesn't feel forced or awkward?
I think it starts small. You don't have to fake being a completely different person. You just borrow tiny behaviors from the version of you that you're building toward.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Like, before I give a presentation in English, I used to literally just stand differently. Shoulders back, slower breathing, and I'd say one sentence to myself, like, I've done harder things than this.
That's such a small thing, but I bet it changes your whole nervous system.
It really does. And over time, that small daily rehearsal, practicing something in advance, especially your behavior or words, before doing it for real, starts to feel less like acting and more like just who you are now.
I love that. It's not about becoming fake. It's about rehearsing your way into something real.
Exactly. And that rehearsal piece connects right back to language learning too. Every awkward practice conversation is a rehearsal for the fluent version of you that's coming.
Which, honestly, might already be closer than people think.
Definitely closer than it feels in the moment.
Okay, if we had to leave listeners with just one takeaway from today,
I'd say this. You don't need to feel ready to start acting like the person you're becoming. The feeling shows up after the action, not before it. Just make sure you're faking the confidence, not the competence.
that's such a good line.
I'm going to remember I said that.
All right, before we go, we'd love to know, what's one thing you're going to fake more confidently this week, whether it's in English or in life?
Drop it in the comments. We genuinely read them.
If this episode helped, hit subscribe so you don't miss the next one. We've got a lot more of these mindset and English conversations coming.
Thanks so much for spending this time with us.
See you next time on Emily and Peter's English.
Bye, everyone.